Hello. You are about to watch a best of 5 between camat0 on FJS midrange and Elunex on Praxis midrange. This is a best of 5 to determine who will go directly to Worlds and who will have to play through the Worlds Wildcard to earn their spot in the ETS World Championships coming up soon. Both players had 12 series points after Season 6 Invitational wrapped up, and there's only space for one of them in Worlds directly. So, we haven't really had much in the way of competitive play after the Bart nerf / Purify buff patch. It didn't directly have a patch number. The previous patch was 1.26, so this is maybe 1.26.2. So, camat0's list is kind of armory minus artisans or recursion. Another way to call it would be maybe removal pile.deck. He's got forest sabotage to pick answers out of your hand to allow his Tavrods and Icarias to stick. But then he's got 4 torches, 1 annihilate, 2 vanquish, 4 slay, 4 harsh rule in his 75 with a little bit of options to tweak that in the sideboard with 3 annihilate and a suffocate. So his goal is kind of pick apart your hand, kill everything you play, stabilize on 5 with Tavrod or 7 with Icaria, and use those as hard to answer beat sticks. Praxis doesn't have a good way to directly answer Tavrod, and Icaria, of course, always requires 2 spells, except when it's a killer predatory Carnosaur, chomping her and living to tell the tale. So, Elunex is running the new and improved 2-cost Purify. And in terms of Tales of Horus Traver cards, he's running 3 Crimson Fireball in the main, 2 Devoted Theurge in the sideboard. He's also running the Xenon Obelisk style of deck. Praxis midrange doesn't always run Xenon Obelisk, but I think he picked a very good 90 card Praxis for this matchup. Armory style decks have issues with Dawnwalkers. camat0 doesn't have any Valkyrian forces in his 90. He does have 4 main deck Statuary Maidens. And the Xenon Obelisk plus Crimson Firemaw and Sandstorm Titan, Heart of the Vault, Predatory Carnosaur may be hard for camat0 to deal with if he draws a weapon-heavy hand. The Sword of Icarias and Arc Runehammers don't answer much in Elunex's deck. A 4-1 Runehammer, and it's going to be hard for them to be higher than 4-1 because camat0 doesn't have kind of artisans. He also has 3 Sword of Icaria to, get in maybe some free roll hits if Elunex stumbles on not having any Amber Acolytes or Champion of Impulse or Dawnwalker. But he only has 2 Rise to the challenge. So he doesn't have a lot of ways to make Auric Runehammer answer something like Sandstorm Titan or Crimson Firemaw if a Xenon Obelisk is out, or Heart of the Vault or Predatory Carnosaur. So I imagine after sideboarding, camat0 will take out his weapons, which if Elunex doesn't realize that will happen, he may board in some Shatterglass Mages. So there's going to be a little bit of mind game footsie between the two. camat0 can also bring in Furnace Mages to deal with the Xenon Obelisks on Elunex's side. Although I don't think Elunex will side out the Obelisks as a response. I think they are a little bit too key for his ways to answer Tavrod cleanly, or his ways to answer Icaria cleanly. But again, this is all speculation. camat0 has played kind of FJS mid-range removal pile style decks in the past, but this is one of the first times we're seeing this exact style of deck since Horus Traver came out and gave us Tavrod. And Praxis midrange was suppressed by Tavrod, but this isn't really the style of Tavrod deck that suppressed Praxis. The issue that Praxis had was kind of, they didn't have great ways to deal with Bart, and so they kind of have to 2-for-1 themselves to deal with Bart, And then Tavrod comes down, and they need to 2-for-1 themselves again, but they've already run themselves out of resources. But Kamato's not playing Bart. You know, Elunex isn't under that turn 3 Bart, turn 4 Bloodletter, Falchion style pressure. And Prizeness could win the matchup when they could get under the Argenport mid-range deck. And Kamato's deck is definitely slower than Argenport mid-range before the Bart nerf patch. Packing a similar amount of removal, however. So if Elunex can get in under Camat0, I think he has a very good shot at winning this. If Camat0 can stabilize and swing with his Tavrod and Ikaria, then I think he's going to be the winner. But I think that's going to be hard for Camat0 to do. You know, it's really unfortunate that both of these players can't make it to Worlds. They've both shown themselves to be amazing players over the past few seasons. Elunex has been around since Season 2, and Camat0, while he played in Season 2, has mostly come out in Seasons 5 and 6 as one of the best players in those seasons. Camat0 broke a handful of records for a single season in Season 6. Elunex, having made a deep run in the Season 4 Invitational, taking top 3. So both of these players have shown that they can compete well with the other players at Worlds, but as I said, unfortunately, we can only take one. So we will be heading into those games shortly.